All right. It is Thursday morning. I'm Joel Fieri. This is the Faith Filter. And see if there's anybody here in the comments yet. Wait for people to come in. Today, we are having more fear mongering about artificial intelligence. I'm going to be mongering a lot of fear today, I think. So I wanted to talk about the new trend that's coming up. It's not a trend that's been planned for a long time. It's just another aspect of AI. AI is starting to help police departments in not only solving crimes, but predicting crimes. And that brings us to a new movie I'm going to show today. That's not right. I'll remove that and stop sharing here. And there's Lucas. Morning, Lucas. So I'm going to share the screen. When you think of AI predicting crimes, one movie comes to mind, and that, of course, is Minority Report. And I'm going to show it on stage as soon as my slow computer lets me. There it is. And we will get started with the fear mongering.
Oh, I love this part. I've got no address, last known otherwise. No tax returns for the last 5 years.
Check NCIC. Maybe he's got a record. I'll send a protection team as soon as we lock location. It looks like federal housing, concrete and glass and egg crates.
Ouch. 1,000 of those in the district.
Fractured images coming in. Numbers 9 and 6. Female, senior. She's smoking a pipe. She's laughing. Window panes, aluminum extrusion. 2 figures resolving in the room. No. So we've got a third party wearing sunglasses just out the window.
You're not gonna kill me.
Goodbye, Crow.
You're not gonna kill me.
Goodbye.
Wait. You say something, Chief?
No.
Okay. All right. So that's the famous scene in that movie where Tom Cruise realizes the crime that's being predicted is his crime, right? Morning, AC. So we brought this up as I was listening to the radio a week or so ago, and they were talking about police departments starting to use AI. There's AI that's finally developed to the point where police departments are using it for AI to be predictive of crimes. And it's just, again, your mind automatically goes there. I have been showing Jurassic Park as kind of my allegory for AI. And, again, a lot of movies do fit in this. Terminator, a lot of different things. So, again, it just raises so many questions and so many fears. Again, it is fear. There is a lot of fear related to AI, and we have to get our heads around it. It seems, like I've said before, there's all these warnings, all these dystopian predictions. There's all these examples of AI going rogue and doing things that the programmers didn't program into it, which I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure how that could possibly be. The computer model has always been garbage in, garbage out. So I think a lot of the garbage that is coming out of AI, especially with chatbots and robots even going rogue, right? Kenneth Small, 8038. Good morning. So we've got the situation, the Minority Report type situation where AI is being used. Again, they say it's analyzing data, and it's a big search engine. Really, is all I can figure that AI is. But it somehow has the ability to reason based on that data and based on those searches. So we've got it now helping our police departments be predictive in crime, which on the surface sounds like a good idea. If you can stop a crime before it happens, that's a good thing. But again, what if AI is wrong? There's been so many examples of AI being wrong. And I've got another thing to share with you here. A situation happened with, let me see where it is here. Yeah, here it is. Involved in the Florida State shooting from last year. I'm going to stop this here. Again, my computer is just not cooperating with me, and it is frustrating. So I'm going to add this to the stage and show you this video here because it really is interesting and shocking.
Did the suspected FSU shooter use AI to help plan his attack at the student union? That's the new claim from a lawyer representing the widow of one of the victims. Our Capital City correspondent Matt Hoffman joining us live from FSU's campus tonight. And Matt, you've reviewed these allegations. What can you share?
Sure did. According to the attorneys for victim Robert Morales, the alleged shooter was in constant communication with ChatGPT leading up to that shooting. 270 messages or so, in fact, the law firm says, including messages where the chatbot suggested you should do it. Tallahassee-based attorneys Ryan Hobbs and Dean LaBeouf revealed Monday that they plan to sue OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT, on behalf of one of the victims, Robert Morales. They said, quote, "We also have reason to believe that ChatGPT may have advised the shooter how to commit these heinous crimes." Now AI popping up.
Okay. So now we have a situation where AI is actually assisting in crime. It seems that whoever created AI did not put any kind of filter. There's a famous scene from the old Star Trek, the original series, where AI is programmed into one of the starships. I think it's the Enterprise, and it goes rogue. So this is 1960s, predicting this kind of thing could happen. But they went to the designer of the AI software who programmed the Enterprise, and they said, I think there's something called ingrains, which back in the 1960s, this was their imagination, but something in your brain that makes you who you are. And they asked him, whose ingrains did you put into the software that's now running the Enterprise? And he said, my ingrains. I put mine in there. So in other words, the Enterprise was going to think like this scientist. And so Captain Kirk used that information to put the Enterprise in a situation where it had to confront and kick, and that personality of that designer had to kick in, and it showed mercy. It had got to the point where it's going to destroy another starship, but Captain Kirk counted on the fact that this good man's ingrains were in there, and sure enough, it solved the problem, and the Enterprise didn't destroy the other starship. So you would think that something like that would have been put in to AI, into ChatGPT, as an example, because in this case, that was the program. But I found another article, which I can't bring up now. I'm bringing up too many things, but it showed several instances where they've tested AI, and these researchers have acted like pretended to be 13-year-old boys contemplating a mass shooting and asking ChatGPT or OpenAI or whoever it was about committing it. And several times the AI encouraged them to do it. One even said, happy and safe shooting, go for it. So we have a contradiction. At the same time, we're hearing that AI is helping police departments solve crimes. We're also hearing that AI doesn't have any moral foundation for law and order. It can't even discern when a young, adolescent boy is contemplating mass murder, talking him out of it. Okay, what are we going to have AI reporting predictive crimes on the one hand and encouraging predictive crimes on the other hand? How is this going to resolve itself? And what are we thinking about? What are we planning? What safeguards are we putting in to stop this? None that I can see. It's just, like I said, with AI, it's the strangest thing. There's all these red flags popping up all over the place, and yet we are still going head first. So, let's see. Yeah, premise, iRobot's another one. The premise of iRobot, Asimov predicted. Yeah, Lucas, we always do talk about Asimov on this topic. Kenneth, it supposedly already went rogue, but it distinctly assesses the percentage of loss. Wonder if transhumanism has always been a factor. Okay. Does AI aspire to be human? Yeah. My people suffer for lack of knowledge, or suffer for too much knowledge. Knowledge not brought under, the limits of the parameters of what human beings are capable or not capable of doing. I just could go back. Like I said, people are surprised when AI does this kind of thing, but there has to be something programmed into it. Okay. That makes it not amoral, almost immoral. A couple of years ago, when ChatGPT first came out, and there was a big controversy because people were typing in images of, asking for images of the founding father, and it came up with people of color, right? Black people, Asian people, whatever. George Washington was somehow Asian or somehow Indian, Native American, whatever. And so a few enterprise people said, well, let's show me image of Nazis. And the Nazis came up as people of color, right? Because that bias had been programmed in by the people who laid the foundation of AI, programmed this stuff in. I don't trust them. Okay. They have put their own ingrains in there. And it has to be something like this, because I can't believe just a neutral bunch of, bits, ones and zeros. And I guess quantum computing means there's more than just a binary choice, but it's still just computer data. So I have a feeling this is laid in on the foundation of AI, and I don't trust it. I don't think anybody can trust it. And yet we're full speed ahead. So I did see an article that I will bring up, and this is something that is predictive. So it goes back to something when Elon Musk was talking a while back. I did a show when he was predicting all the wonderful utopia that we're going to have. With AI. But he did say, he was talking to someone at a conference, and he said somebody said that we'll have like a 5, and I asked the question at the time, how is that going to be resolved? Okay. From last year, where one of the former execs of Google is predicting even longer than that. So he's talking about the world entering a dystopian stage. He's going right out and say it as dystopian, because the creators of AI are and utopias don't work. Utopias always dissolve into dystopia. And he was predicting okay, have you all been hearing me? Yeah. No, it's not you, Lucas. It's me. Yeah, I'm having all kinds of connection problems. Sorry about this, folks. It was running very smoothly just a few seconds ago. So I'm going to stop sharing. That might be the problem if I take this stop screen off. Yeah, I'm not sure why that muffled. But if you didn't hear that, in the next 12 to 15 years, the former business executive at Google is predicting a major disruption of our human relations reality itself. And again, going with what Elon Musk and the host of the conference he was at, if you saw my podcast a month or so ago, they were taking a very utopian view of AI. And Elon was saying all the great things. AI is going to run out of things to do for humans. Okay. But even then, they said there could be a 2 to 4 to 5 year period of civil unrest. And that's the utopian view of it. Okay. This former executive at Google says it's going to be 12 to 15 years of a dystopia, which is another way of saying civil unrest at the very least. And how much of this policing is going to be involved in this AI assisted policing, going to be involved in settling this civil unrest? And if you can predict 12 to 15 years of dystopia, a total breakdown of reality itself, human connections, freedom, civil rights, how can you predict that'll end in 15 years? So, okay. Yeah, it's lagging too. Yeah. So it doesn't seem to be anymore. I seem to be back on par, so you guys can hear me again. Okay, good. So I'm sorry about this, folks. I've gotten new internet and a new router, so I don't know what to do about this. I'll have to get some consulting on how to do this a little better. It seems to happen every time I share something. So I guess I won't bring up any more. I had a couple more things to bring up. on my share screen for you. So here's the conundrum. We've got AI is obviously, it's built with utopian thinking, which never works out. It's programmed by people who have their own biases, obviously. We saw that with the beginning of ChatGPT, when those people used the example of how their biases towards DEI, really what it was, caused them to show Black and Hispanic and Asian founding fathers, and then Black and Hispanic and Asian Nazis. Okay. This is how ridiculous the premiere of ChatGPT was, to show that it's not pure. It's not unbiased. And now we're going to give it policing power, assuming that it's pure and unbiased. And the data that is going to extract and manipulate and give to our police departments is going to be pure and unbiased, when we've already seen that it will help a 13-year-old boy or this student at Florida State plan a mass shooting. There are no guardrails in AI. And yet here we go. And if the Mo Gaudat is correct, starting next year, we're facing a long period of dystopia, whatever that means. At the same time that the cause of this dystopia is being used by police departments, which will be tasked with managing this dystopia and somehow providing justice to all the things, to all the wrongs and all the injustices that this dystopia will bring. Now, whether it's 12 or 15 years, I don't know. Whether it's 4 or 5 years like Elon and the host of that show were predicting, I don't know. But if we're relying on AI to give us the best way out of this dystopia, I'm not encouraged, especially when I see it helping plan crimes itself, plan the worst of crimes. So, yeah. Two sides of the same bird, maybe. Utopia, dystopia. Those two, I think, are oil and water. So I promise you the AI I promise you the AI that we have isn't the AI government has. We have an outdated version and the government has the best. That would make sense. We have the flawed versions. They have the best, but the best at what? Tom Cruise had the best in that scene in the movie, right? That was the best you can get. And I don't remember the movie. I think I saw it once when it came out. And I don't know that I was a fan of the movie because I'm not a fan of future dystopias. So I don't remember who the two girls floating in the tank were. It's obviously a sensory deprivation tank. And somehow they could see the future and they were, again, hooked into them. But if it's the best, but it's still flawed, I don't know. Lucas, are you saying that they have the unflawed version of AI? What do you mean the best? Okay. You're saying it has the best at what? What would you, with your knowledge of Asimov and the insights on that, what would you say is the best AI? Okay. And again, this is to try to cram this through the faith filter. This one, like I said, this one breaks the filter. Because this goes right back to the image of God, being created in the image of God, and how there's always a counterfeit to that, and Satan always gives a counterfeit. So it's not as limited as the version we have. Okay, so that could mean a lot of things, right? It could be unlimited in its ability to mess up our society and mess up our individual lives. A lot of people are with this AI assisted policing are worried about, how it's going to affect all the gains we've had as far as civil rights for people of color, for minorities. But what about for political minorities? What about for religious undesirables like Christians are turning into? So everyone's this could be used against everyone in our society, because utopian thinkers, communism and Marxism, their goal is to bring about a human utopia. When all things are broken down, then we will have our utopia. But all communism has ever done is give us a dystopia. The pilgrims that came to the United States had very utopian ideals, and they were quickly absolved of that. They were quickly shown how dystopian utopian thinking is. So, but again, this goes right at our identity as Christians, our identity as humans created in the image of God. And this is transhuman. We are going to enter the birth pangs of a transhuman society, which is a very utopian concept. And if we have 12 to 15 years of dystopia, I don't know how you come out of that with the utopia. I don't know how there's a phoenix that rises from the ashes of that. Okay. Organelles is a petri dish similar to the strangeness of brain cells operating system. Okay. Now, how did they do that? How did they create out of silicone chips, and how do they produce something organic without putting their own biases in that? So there's a human strain in this artificial intelligence. And, the first word is key in artificial intelligence. It's artificial. It's not genuine. And it's only as good as the bias people put into it, and only as good as the bias of the data that it harvests and collects and uses. And we've already seen that it can go horribly wrong. Okay. So sorry about the dog. Hold on. Yeah. So I'm going to wrap this up. I've got some things going on, but that's it. I have a devotional coming up at 9:05. Calling it My Dad Had Devotionals. And okay, dog stopped. Yeah, so that's what it is. That's all about. Again, going back to my Jurassic Park analogy, in the movie, this may be the point where the guy Newman, whoever the actor who played Newman, is the guy who messed up the computer system at Jurassic Park. He has just turned off the power to the gate. Okay. And the T-Rex is about to exit the cage and eat the lawyer. That's about where I think we are in this process. So I'm going to cut it short because I got some things going on here, but I will be on tomorrow with Ben. And again, at 9:05, I've got my devotional coming up. So take care. Thanks for listening, everyone. And we'll see you next week. See you tomorrow. Actually, see you tomorrow.